Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Peter.
Hi, Peter.
And maybe I'll give you a little advice in a certain dilemma. Since I was young, I had this spiritual knowledge. I don't know where, but I had it. And I'm reading books, Upanishads and all the studies. And in the decades following, I went to many masters and gurus and teachers, and also in Hawaii, to Lansi, and had a lot of tried to get experiences about it. Mm-hmm. So I had lots of experiences as out of states, bliss, whatever. But what I'm really looked for, this ground, what you said is ground of being, I really didn't really experience it. So on the one side, I know that I'm not this person because I know a lot of my lifetimes, and even I see through the same eyes as a child and now and as I'm old. But still, I know this is not real, but I don't get the other side also, either. Mm. So is there anything I can still do? I'm standing in a transit somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not very comfortable.
No.
And I think you made the transit, so maybe you can give some advice on it.
I try. Yeah. So it's really about just opening to your own, to open to the ground of being, right? The ground of your being is to open to a kind of emptiness, right? Because everything else is just sort of dreams and shadows. You know, it's sort of like, it's actually, the thing is, it's profoundly simple. That's what makes it difficult. Do you know what I mean? Because we can have lots of different kinds of experiences of all sorts. We can remember past lives. All sorts of things can come as our awareness opens up, right? All sorts of experiences come, bliss, all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, you know, where do they all go right now? What are you now, standing in front of microphone? Really? Can you find yourself as something or someone?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
I even went 3 weeks in a dark retreat, 3.5 weeks, in last December, to really try to really break through all this. And I had great states again, but not this ground of being.
Yeah, because ground of being isn't really a state.
Yeah, this I know.
Yeah, it's not a state. Now you know that now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
This makes it so difficult because when I want to go to bliss or in a state, I can do something about it.
Yeah, you can do it, huh?
Yeah,
you can't make the ground of being appear.
Yeah, that's the point.
Right. Right.
Exactly, that's the point.
That's right.
So just wait or hang out?
Neither one. Let's go back again. Okay. So, as you stand in front of a microphone and you look for yourself as a something or a someone, and you don't find it. You don't find it. What is there then? What is there? It's not a something, and it's not a someone, and it's not a particular experience, because all those kind of come and they go and they change. And you have 100 past lives. What is it that noticed those past lives? We say, I did. But what's that? When we really, really look at it. Get very precise, you see.
It's some kind of viewing.
Yes. Yes, just some kind of viewing.
Yeah.
And not as someone viewing, just the viewing. Not as someone who's aware, just awareing. Just like that.
You cannot really define it or anything.
That's right.
But you can somehow feel it.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I mean. It's always there. And if you're trying to define it, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to define it, there it is. There's something there, right? The ground. It's just like a pure perception.
Yeah, pure perception, that's good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one more thing, please. We are this ground of being. We are this, yes, you said we all is our true being and true nature. Mm-hmm. How come I'm always attached to this person, even I know that's not me?
Well, let's...
And not to this or this person.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That makes me a little confused, because if this is our true nature, what I feel somehow,
yes,
why I'm controlling this person, I speak through this person, but I cannot control any other person. Mm-hmm. Or speak to any other person. Well, you know what I mean?
I do.
I'm somehow in a prison here.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm this nature for all beings and I'm a
yes.
tree, can be anything, still I'm somehow attached to this person.
Oh, I see. Well, you must think that's a problem.
Yeah, because this person will die, this person will...
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
And so, if I'm attached to it, I'm also die.
Really? So you said that you'd had some perception of past lives, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you died in even one of those lives, you wouldn't be here seeing your past lives, would you?
Yeah. That's true.
You wouldn't really, if you had really completely, totally died, boom, extinction.
No, this I know.
Yes.
I can even feel it at the same time.
Yes.
But still, what I want to say is, I'm attached to this person. I cannot, at the moment, I can only, somehow here.
You want to not be attached to this person?
Not so much, no.
Okay. Then here's the key. I'm going to give you the key.
How much is it?
Here's the key. It's not going to be what you expect either. The key to not being attached to your personhood is to completely accept your personhood.
Oh.
That's how. In fact, that's the only way. Completely, absolutely. Now, let's go back to just that touching upon the ground of being, okay? How does the ground of being see your personhood? How does it see it? As something that needs to be gotten rid of?
No, this doesn't care at all.
It's fine with it, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
totally.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, when you recognize that when you can be completely fine with it, you can feel that you're not attached to it. You're not identified with it. As soon as you reject part of your humanity, you're attached.
Yeah, usually I'm attached only in daily life. So not in meditation, I can be really free.
Right.
And I can see through a lot of eyes, through a lot of incarnations. But in daily life, I mean, somehow I feel still attached.
That's where it counts.
Okay. And
yeah.
So if
it's easy to be a Buddha in your own bedroom. Right? Right? You're undisturbed. Nobody's bothering you. Right? Yeah. Which is great. That's nice. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, what I want to encourage, not just you but everybody, is we all have the answers within ourselves. We're usually looking for something much more complicated than we need to be looking for. Okay. And when we're looking for something complicated, we miss the obvious. So if you just see it from your own experience, you get up, you go about your day, you meet people, you go to work, whatever you do, you go to the store, you drive down the street. What is happening? What happens when you start to become overly identified and attached? What actually occurs? How does it actually take place? Right? So you meet somebody, you talk to somebody. What happens at that instant? If we slowed it way down, because it usually happens very fast, doesn't it? Like this. If you slowed it all down, so it's almost in slow motion, and you replayed it in your mind, usually it goes something like this. You go into life, into relationship, because life is just relationship, right? With your environment, with the next person, with the traffic, with whatever. And you go into relationship, and as soon as you go into relationship, something almost automatically turns away from the ground of being. It's as if something says, okay, now I've got to get back to my little me because I have to navigate life now. Right? We have to talk, so I can't be in this ground of being. I have to be in this me. Yeah. This happens. This is like an unconscious assumption that this is what I need to do. And so without being even aware of it, you slip over into this more limited perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds true.
Yeah. And it happens like this, but we're slowing it down now. And what I want to leave you with is not, here's how to do this, but I'd rather leave you with the question, is it necessary for me to leave the ground of my being, to leave awareness of it in order to relate to life? Is that necessary? Do I need to do that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so
but
either.
This is some automatic reaction.
It's automatic. That's why, so this question that I'm giving you, is it necessary? Do I need to leave the ground of my being to relate? It's not a question that we just answer once and then move on. It's a question that can pop up any moment. At any moment. When you start to feel yourself, when you can feel it, can't you? When you move out of the ground and back into the sort of the personality. And you can just, without saying, oh, how do I get out of this? How do I not do this? Just ask yourself, is this necessary? Okay. Can I function right now from the ground of being? Can I function from it? When I walk down the hall, can I walk down the hall from the ground of being? Or do I need to really pop up back in my head and think about everything that went on for the last hour? See what I mean?
Okay.
The question is more powerful than an antidote. It's more powerful than, here's what you do.
Yeah, because it makes you conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It just makes you conscious. But first, realize that the ground is there. It's a profound simplicity. If from the ground of being, is there any difference between us?
No.
Not at all, right?
No.
As two personalities, as a particular unique human incarnation, there are differences, right? as a human incarnation. Your personality, different from mine. Your history, different from mine. Your humanity, different from mine. Mine, different from yours. We all share this sort of uniqueness, right?
Yeah.
But the
sometimes
ground,
like playing puppets.
yeah,
You are the one, but you play two different characters.
that's right.
And it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also fun.
That's the whole thing. When you accept the puppet, then it's fine. Because then you see it from the way the ground of being sees it. It's perfectly okay. And it's okay. It's actually a celebration that everybody's humanity is different, one from the next. That's part of the beautiful diversity of life, right? It's the part of the beautiful diversity of life.
Okay.
And this thing we call it, this is the ground of being also, but it's just when the ground of being comes into manifestation, it looks like a hand or a face or a microphone. When the ground of being is in its unformed nature, it's just the pure ground. So we're actually, everywhere you go, you're actually meeting yourself.
And accept this person totally, so it's not attached.
Accept the personhood. Right. Accept the personhood. Have you ever noticed that the things that you want to change the most about yourself are the things that don't change? You ever noticed? It's a very common human thing. The things about yourself that you don't like and you'd really like to change are the things that seem to never change. And the things you don't really care whether they change or not, they're always changing. You see what I mean? So when I say accept, I don't say accept because you'll just be in some sort of static, nothing will ever evolve or change. From acceptance that's where transformation happens. Nothing transforms until we accept it. Mm-hmm. Nothing does it.
Yeah.
And as soon as we accept it, that takes humility though, right? It takes humility to accept one's humanity. One's humanity has its strengths, has its weaknesses, right? Has its frailties, it has its imperfections. So it takes a kind of humility to accept your humanity. Okay.
Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself. All right.